Hello, everyone. Can you believe that it's been 25 years of the Barron Prize? We have such a wonderful array of young winners over time, and over these years, the ripple effect of their marvelous work in the world is still being felt and is only widening. It's a beautiful thing to witness. Today, we're going to give you the second part of our series called Then and Now, where we interview former winners and see what they're up to now. And we're going to interview two especially wonderful young people, one whose name is Avalon, a particularly meaningful name in my life, and one whose name is Miles. And both of these great young people were honored at a very young age. So I know you'll enjoy meeting Avalon and Miles and hearing everything they have to say as much as I do.
Hello, my name is Avalon Jade Theisen, and I received the Gloria Barron Prize for Young Heroes in 2012 at age 11. I had founded a nonprofit organization called Conserve It Forward, which specializes in youth-friendly environmental education. Particularly in the beginning, we focused on frogs and amphibian conservation.
I'm Miles Fetherston-Resch. I won the Barron Prize in 2021 when I was 9 years old, and I founded Kids Saving Oceans, which sells shirts, hats, reusable silverware, and straws, and promotes information about the oceans and what we can do to help preserve them for a longer time, and informing people about it, and also to raise money and donate to organizations that help save our oceans. One of the things that we have in common is we both started our businesses and won the Barron Prize at such a young age. And it's really awesome to know that we've been making a difference in potentially changing the world, even though we're not teenagers or even adults yet.
Yes, I agree. I received the Barron Prize when I was 11 years old, so I was very young. And I've also noticed that something else we share is that we're both from the Tampa Bay area and we're both in environmental work. And I remember it has sometimes been difficult for adults to take young changemakers seriously because of our age. I remember being told, or hearing other children being told, "Oh, can't you wait until you're older?" But the thing is, when we're called to act, we need to act. And no matter what our age, there's always going to be some kind of constraint. It might mean not having enough time. It might mean not having enough money. It might mean not having a certain degree. So even though, yes, there are constraints because of age, we need to look past that. And that was a big part of my early change making.
Adding on to that, I remember when I first asked my mom, "Hey, can I do something about this?" She didn't really take me seriously. But when I showed her different ideas that I had for it, she began believing me that I could do this. And then when I told my classmates, again, they also told me why now? Why not wait till you're older to do something like this? And I didn't really know why. I just felt a calling to it. And the reason we're even having this conversation is to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Barron Prize. And I remember getting the call and being so excited because it was in COVID and we were going through a really tough time. And I felt like I was on top of the world because we could keep going with it and keep educating people, raising money. And because of the Barron Prize, we've actually hit a huge milestone recently of donating over $100,000 to organizations. And it's also awesome to know that I'm a part of this community of people that are changing the world, even at such a young age.
That is wonderful. The Barron Prize has likewise really helped me to spread my message that people of any age can make a positive difference. I founded Conserve It Forward at age 9 in 2010, and we gained nonprofit status in 2012. That same year, I received the Gloria Barron Prize. I remember being so excited that my work was being recognized and that I would have an opportunity to share what I was doing with others. So that way more young people could realize that, yes, you can make a difference. One of the highlights was doing a media tour in New York City with TA Barron. I remember we had about 30 interviews in one day, and it was a lot, but it was really exciting. So the Barron Prize opened up a lot of opportunities for me to help other people realize that regardless of age, they could do something to help the environment. So the Barron Prize gave me a national platform to help show how kids can fundraise, volunteer, and otherwise work towards environmental protection. The Barron Prize is a testament to the power of young people to have long-lasting impact. It recognizes a lot of really amazing projects, and then it gives a platform to these young people so that way they can help other people realize that these topics are important and others should care about it and do what they can to help.
It's really good to know that like other people know about my message and know that kids can also affect the world and change it for the better. And I've also been on news, and I'm very glad that like some of parents' kids watch the news and that they're also getting the message.
One of the things about starting a project so young was it really shaped the direction of my life. It gave me a sense of purpose and meaning, and it directed a lot of how I spent my free time and how eventually I looked towards university and a career. So I've grown and branched out into pursuits beyond the original Conserve Forward focus of frogs and amphibian conservation. Conserve Forward now has project areas in also amphibian conservation, but also in kindness programs and sustainable food. We continue through educational social media and online resources. And this year we are about to have our 13th annual Frog Talk at Brooker Creek Preserve, which is a local nature preserve. I'm currently in my PhD program in religious studies, where I'm researching how environmental nonprofits affiliated with different religions can be made more effective at creating positive change. And so I'm working on using some of what I learned in the PhD program to create environmental resources for congregations of different religious traditions to get more people to care about environmental protection. And Conserve Forward is still about small acts of big change, which means even something that might seem small in the moment, if we do our part, then collectively we can make a difference. It has a ripple effect.
I really like what you said about founding something bigger than yourself, and I feel like I really relate to that. There was this one girl at an event that I met, and she came up hiding behind her dad's leg, and her dad told us that she met me at a previous event and wanted to do something because she didn't know that kids could also start projects like this. So she started her own cleanups with her friends and talked about it with their teachers, and their school even did something with it. And it was really awesome seeing like the ripple effect on someone else.
That's wonderful that your work inspired someone else. That's something that I really hope to do with Conserve Forward as well. We started small. It was focused on giving educational presentations and booths at community events, and it focused a lot on learning about the native frogs of Florida and what we can do to help. And since then, we've branched out. We have started Care Cards, a program where people from several different countries have sent in their nature-themed artwork and positive messages, which we've then turned into cards and we've brought to people who can't get outdoors in places like assisted living facilities and hospitals. Because the idea is when we're outdoors, when we're outside in nature, we feel better. But sometimes people aren't well enough to get out there. So that's one of our programs.
One of the ways that Kids Saving Oceans has branched out over the years is we used to do a lot more events. For example, there's a huge event now in a near park that I used to go to a ton. But after COVID, we've sort of grown more online, and we've shipped out as far as Australia and Japan. And so it's opened up this whole other corner of the world that we can also deliver the message to, and where it still is in effect.
That's great. Sometimes online work isn't as valued necessarily as the in-person work, but it's still a really great way where you can make an impact. So many people nowadays are on their phones or laptops or tablets or what have you, and even though we might think of websites and social media and so on as something that might be a little frivolous, it can be a great way to spread this message. People are on their electronics anyways, so if we make these resources available online, it can help people to understand, to be aware of issues, and to enact them with both our projects.
If you have a dream or a goal, shoot for it. And if you don't quite reach it, find steps you can take to get to it. No matter how young you are, you can make a difference, and you will.
That is excellent advice, Miles. I want to build on that. No matter what our ages, what our stages, we can make an impact. But remember, no one person can do everything, but everyone can do something. So do what you can now. Even if it seems small, those changes add up to big change.